Hey guys, it's a Jedi's point of view here, and today we're going to be reading some more of the Jedi Path book. We are on to the last 3 pages, as you can tell, bookmarks right at the end. And the 3 topics I'm covering today are going to be taking on a Padawan learner, and becoming a Master and Grandmaster, and then transcending death. So, without further ado, let's get right into the book, guys and gals. Cracked her open. My Jedi bookmark, aka Mary Sue. So, Taking on a Padawan Learner by Grandmaster Faye Coven. So there's a lot of comments in here, which I really like. I'm going to read the comments before I read anything. And Dooku says, if only you had spent more time learning the fundamentals, Master. Because his Master Theme says, can't wait, so much I can teach. So I guess he didn't learn the fundamentals, but Dooku was there to remind him. Then Qui-Gon says, Master Dooku is an intimidating mentor. That's not how I'm going to do it. And then Obi-Wan says, he must be joking. Master Qui-Gon intimidates everyone. So there's a little bit of the, I guess, hereditary learning styles there. So although it is not mandatory, at some point during your knighthood, you may feel the desire to pass on your knowledge to another, younger Jedi. As a Jedi Knight, you are encouraged to heed the Force's call, particularly if you sense it leading you toward mentorship. Aside from recruitment, this is the most important action you can take to ensure that our order remains vibrant and strong. Taking a Padawan apprentice will complete the cycle that first brought you to your knighthood, and if concluded successfully, will elevate you to the rank of Jedi Master. If you wish to select a student, visit the temple each year during the apprentice tournaments. So our older initiates demonstrate their fitness with lightsabers, but you are free to visit at any time to observe classes or to question the temple's instructors. Remember that you once underwent the same process, so as you experience it from the other side, be mindful of what you felt and learned those many years ago. And it says your apprentice should be much like you in temperament and outlook, but not too much alike. The teaching process is bidirectional, and you should expect to learn much from your student. A fresh perspective and a second set of eyes will help you succeed on missions that would have been impossible for you alone. Don't forget that your Padawan has the benefit of recent temple teachings, which you may have never studied. Keep an open mind, and you will fuel the development of your shared Force bond. So I really like that part as well, because the master also learns from his apprentice in every scenario ever, because that person is a fresh slate, right? And they didn't have the same teacher you have because you're now teaching them. So it's just interesting that the Jedi even know that as well, that they're not arrogant enough to say that you know everything and you should be the utmost opinion on what your Padawan views and blah, blah, blah. On to the next part here. It says, above all, do not be overprotective. Dooku goes, yes, better to learn the truth of the world. And then Qui-Gon goes, on this we agree. So that's good. Your Padawan may be young, but he or she is a Jedi. Better that you should lose your Padawan to tragedy than to avoid danger altogether. Every member of the Jedi Order is prepared to die in the service of the Republic. Any lesser commitment is selfishness and waste. While taking on a Padawan is a step most Jedi will accept, some will choose to never have an apprentice. Not all Jedi possess the patience for what is a full-time commitment that can at least last a decade or more. Still others may have the desire, but do not find a Padawan that suits their pace and outlook. So Anakin goes, Obi-Wan follows the rules a little too closely. There are a lot of teachings the temple could correct, which is correct. I agree with Anakin on that, but they did it for a reason, for you to not have any connections at all. Anakin believed in a different point of view than the Jedi Order did, and then Ahsoka goes, great, so I'm the one who gets in trouble. I love it. Meditate intensely before making a decision. It is far better to pass over this opportunity than to accept it out of duty. A poor fit with your Padawan will lead to poor instruction, squander your time, and leave your apprentice ill-prepared to face the trials. So that's also very accurate in real life as well. You want to make sure you're ready to take on the teachings before you start teaching. But that's taking on a Padawan learner. We'll flip right into the next page here. And it's going to be becoming a Grand Master and Master, with Faye Coven on the side there as the female Jedi Grand Master. The rank of Jedi Master is the highest formal recognition one can achieve in the Jedi Order. It is not a requirement, nor does it mark the end of your journey. Jedi who have attained this rank are the fewest in membership, and are outnumbered by even the younglings. Masters are known for their mentorship of younger Jedi. Taking on and training Padawan into knighthood is one step toward the training and obtaining the rank of Master. Many Masters take on a Padawan after another. So, selecting an apprentice immediately following the previous apprentice's passing of the trials, however, not all knights will choose to follow this path, right? They want some time for themselves, you know. Jedi Knights who have shown extraordinary service to the Republic are sometimes appointed masters through the special dispensation of the High Council. In addition, Jedi Knights may elect to undergo a modified, more challenging version of the Trials of Knighthood, which, if passed, has often been accepted as a mark of mastery. As a Jedi Master, your missions will not fundamentally change you. You are still responsible for aiding the needy and extending the Order's reach throughout the Republic. Yet because your Jedi skills will have deepened since your first solo missions as a knight, you may also wish to consider a teaching role that suits your talents. The Temple and our satellite academies have need for Force philosophers, battle masters, historians, and scientists, as well as experts in the peculiar obsessions of the Jedi Sentinels. So, Grand Master is a title bestowed upon the greatest of all masters. And then Yoda leaves a little comment there. He says, the elected leader of the High Council, Master of the Order, we call. This title, a Grand Master often holds. Yoda. Little comment there for him. Love his little handwriting with his little 3 fingers. So, those who have been recognized as such by members of the Order are ratified through the unanimous decision of the High Council. In the past, several masters have held the title simultaneously, and in essence created an elite guild. Currently, only a single Jedi can be appointed Grand Master at any one time. I'm quite happy to hold the title, so I trust you younger ones will indulge me if I don't announce plans to relinquish it anytime soon. So that's what Grandmaster Faye Coven said. So I don't know who she is or what her story is, but I'd like to read more on Grandmaster Faye Coven. That's all I know, because she writes a lot of entries into this Jedi Path book. The last part of the book, Transcending Death, and it's also by Grandmaster Faye Coven. So this is really neat, because this side, that is how Qui-Gon was buried, how his funeral was. I would also like to go out that way, on top of a wooden spire and just being burnt, you know, and my life essence just becomes one. All right, this part is very interesting. There's lots of comments here from Luke. Qui-Gon comments as well. So one day you will die, in battle or in your sleep, having lived the noble life of a Jedi. None can state that clarity what awaits after you become one with the Force, but your journey into the netherworld will be instantaneous. Some sages among the Wills believe otherwise, holding out the possibility of existence in this world even after Jedi have shed their physical forms. Existing as luminous beings, such Jedi could retrain the identities they held before, or retain the identities they held before. But they would be unable to interact with the physical world. However, the idea of this existence stems from stories and theories, not reality. Though we believe that all things are possible through the Force, as physical beings we are grounded, and our understanding has limits. Instead, think of these stories as metaphors for the Jedi Code's final precept. There is no death, there is the Force. And Qui-Gon goes, the Wills? ? So that's interesting to me as well, because it seems like Grandmaster Faye Coven hasn't even mastered transcending death, so she didn't figure it out, but she did talk to the Wills. So that's cool, because we know Yoda did, we know Qui-Gon did, and we know Qui-Gon passed on what he learned to Yoda, and then Yoda to Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon to Obi-Wan, and that's how they kept transcending death. And the only Force ghosts we know of is Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then you have Luke, Leia, and Ben Solo, and Anakin. So all the Skywalkers, and Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Qui-Gon, which is kind of cool, because I rewatched episode 9 last night, and it was the first time I've seen it since I saw it in the theaters. And honestly, I totally forgot that Ben Solo transcended death. I didn't even remember that. But I would like to know more, because that begs the question of, he's the main character. He is. We're following his story the whole time. Rey's just the catalyst to his story and what makes him come back to the light. Just like how Luke was Vader's catalyst to come back to the light. And for what they did with what they were left with after episode 8, there wasn't really much continuation of story, that we didn't answer any questions. J.J. Abrams had to come into episode 9 and fix this mess of the story. And he patched it together with whatever he could, and he did a great job, I'd say. But Luke leaves basically his own entry here. That's Luke, and that's Luke. So he says, I first sensed Ben in this state, then Yoda and my father. It meant so much to see them, but there seems to be a limit to how long a spirit can tether itself to the living. I'm surprised that the Jedi of this era dismiss this ability as mere legend. So far, the holocrons I've acquired have contained references to Jedi even more ancient, including Gelong Tau, Platusium, and Arca Jeth. All are said to have passed into the Force while remaining behind in this world as phantoms, achieving the extreme transformation through the sublimation of a body's organic cells into a state of pure energy. From my own experience, I know that the Force spirits can communicate with those still alive and can appear as a vision of their former selves unmarked by disease or injury. They can appear anywhere in the galaxy to those who had known them in life or echo in one's thoughts, as Ben did in mine. I'm continuing a deep study into the data layers of the Crimson Holocron. There's much more going on here than theory, Luke says. So that's the end of the Jedi Path book. And I thank you guys for listening to me read it to you and passing on the knowledge from this book to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. And as always, may the Force be with you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.